All right, all right. Welcome to IoT Coffee Talk. We don't have any electric guitars today, but Marc's doing air guitar, and he's really good at that. So, just imagine you're hearing Eddie Van Halen or something like that, or I don't know. Gosh, Joe Satriani. I'm just whatever. I don't know. I got nothing.
It might be a good thing that we don't have Leonard to start this episode. I'm just saying. It could be. Yeah. Let's do it.
So, Marc, you were just on some webcast yesterday or day before yesterday. I watched a bit of it.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, I was at the IoT North, which
IoT
actually
North.
Paul Wells.
Yeah. So what's IoT North mean? Is that just because they're way up north?
So actually, it's like a collection of different IoT meetups in the north of the UK, like Scotland.
Okay.
I don't know, Newcastle and others.
Okay.
It's really nice. I think he's a good, very good community leader on that area.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. Actually, he made something really nice on that meetup because basically the main title or header of the meetup was like buy versus build on the IoT.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he invited like different people, but then he also invited one of his customers in the conversation. So I think that was super differential compared with what we talk here. We don't have any customer here, right?
And it's super important to have customers.
Exactly.
If they don't want what we have,
it's easy to imagine what to build, right?
Yeah. No, that's good. No, I watched it for a little while. It was a good conversation. That was good stuff, man.
Well, I do feel that we have at various points over the past couple of years, like we have brought the customer perspective, right? Like, we've talked about why they bought, why they didn't buy, what was the return on investment? Why was it a really stupid idea? The blocker who is going to stop this project from going forward, the champion who says, oh my goodness, like I'm going to help you grow this thing. I think yes, we've never actually brought, I guess this isn't the show to bring a customer because we're not someone should sponsor that there. If you're brave enough, yes, IoT company brave enough, bring on a customer and we can ask really tough questions about, a project. That could be fun.
Or they may ask tough questions of us.
Yes. Indeed,
the customer is the boss.
Yes.
How's it going, Bill?
What kind of customer are we talking about, though?
Oh, well, maybe not the idiot customers, maybe the smart ones. I don't know. No, but it's just... go ahead.
No, but it's interesting because today I was listening to a podcast and actually someone was explaining that he had a customer who wanted to install Kepware on the factory. And they said, why Kepware? Oh, yeah, it's because it's a state of the art. Okay, let's understand what do you have and then maybe Kepware is a solution or not. But at the end, the problem is that, customers, they want what they know. If they don't know, they cannot... want it. So basically you need to sell like an agnostic platform to be a good, to recommend the right thing to your customers. If not, you're going to sell your products as crazy. And I don't know if this is good.
We should start some some heated discussion about, again, open platforms and open everything and agnostic. From a buyer perspective, it's hard not to agree with it. But, I think looking at total cost of ownership, and it's not talked about enough, but who is maintaining that open platform that promises you everything?
No, but I don't talk about open source I'm not talking about this. It's more related like, if you are going to buy to me technology and that I'm going to get $10, $100, $100,000 if I sell you Microsoft license. So I'm a bit biased, right, to sell you this product.
Yeah.
So
what I mean is that I don't think there is anything in existence that is that, right? I mean, everything is going to be biased one direction or another. no matter what, right? Like you just said, if it's Microsoft, at the core of it, you're buying .NET. That's what you're buying.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go the other route, then you're buying Linux Foundation. So you are going to you have to make a decision, right?
Yeah, but I agree. If you recommend well your customer, if they don't know about what you're gonna install, technologically speaking, and you recommend well, not because you will get money from the sales that you're going to do later, right? Or the licenses that you're going to sell to them, or directly or indirectly. This is what I say.
No, I agree with that. But see, that's the hard part about it, right? Is that even so, like, for as many of the cities and municipalities that I've worked with, I never will say, "Oh, this is what you get," or "This is what you get." It's 100%. Let's talk about what it is that you're doing, how you're using it, what insights you're looking for, what your outcomes are. And then let's write a set of requirements and let's see who fits.
Indeed, yeah. And then you can do like a DAFO or whatever you want, saying, okay, if you use this product, you can have these. If you do it yourself, you can have that.
Exactly. So now the burden of decision is on them. And what I'm doing is just saying, look, based on everything that you said, you have food allergies that look like this, so you can't go that way. But it really is giving them the best information possible to, deliver the best outcomes possible.
I want now, Bill, you're just talking about doing the right thing for the customer and using an outcome-based discussion, right? Like, where do you want to be in the future? Not which platform, what's the outcome that makes your money or saves money and it's safe, right? Because everybody wants to be there, and what's in the middle, it's less important. And that makes sense. It's just like, we've discussed so much about the platform that you decide on, and since Marc brought Kepware, and I just started to twitch because he makes
sorry for saying name.
No, it's fine. It also makes me think of of the
I don't have anything against Kepware, sorry.
No, neither do I. Oh no,
not other names that I name here, maybe yes, but not Kepware, sorry.
Big fan, because at the end of the day, in manufacturing, and I think I've mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. At the end of the day, I think from an IoT-centric perspective, we always think about sensorizing the thing, like the physical thing, when in a factory, the number one step is, does Platform X support systems? Because there's systems in there, right? Does it talk to SCADA? Okay. Does it talk to MES? Okay. Can I go to the cloud? Okay. And then we can go down into, a couple of levels into an asset, and then just send it back to the platform. And if it's open, and not necessarily open source, but at least open-ish, so that the customer has a way of connecting to systems that will never talk to each other, but the platform could be in the middle and obfuscate data, or just make things talk to each other. Then that's great, regardless what the platform is, because lack of interoperability is a freaking problem.
That is the problem.
Well, and what's worse is when you find out in the middle of the bloody project. Ooh, yeah, so that's not going to talk to this. And don't even bother, because the vendors are competitors. It's like, nope, this Schneider thing is not going to talk to those. Let's just leave. Interoperability is huge. And any platform, and the more a platform brings of that, the best outcome that the customers are going to experience.
And I mean, I think that you hit on a good point, because when you say manufacturing, all right, I go, okay, so manufacturing, that is a vertical in and of itself. And so when I'm looking at it, but I follow your train of thought 100%, it is systems, and it's systems of systems. And so when you say, is there a SCADA element? Okay, well, in cities, some cities own their own water, and they have water SCADA, and they have SCADA data, right? And the whole objective around what I try to get them to do is, it's breaking down the silos. Let's stop public works, share your data with sustainability. Sustainability, share your data with traffic. Traffic, share your data with everyone. And then from there, you get down to the system. So on the water side, 9 times out of 10, they're talking Modbus, they're talking DNP3, and then there are some that just don't have a managed protocol at all. In the middle of all of that is where I've started to see, over the course of the past few years, the message broker, because if it's an IP-based system, the message broker helps tremendously. And where you put that message broker is important. But now we're getting into the element of how are you going to architect this piece of it for them? And which is why I believe that it's very, 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 very difficult to have an out-of-the-box platform that solves problems day one. Every single one of them has their own unique requirements. And so you need to understand all of the pieces of all of the systems in order to say, okay, well, here's how we're going to do it, and follow the flight of the packets. And literally getting back to basics of saying, okay, if I try to eliminate the conversation around transport, because it really doesn't matter. For me, it really doesn't matter. I don't care. Let's talk about what we're trying to get. You're talking about water meter data. Okay, well, we can use a low bandwidth, an LPWAN network that just transmits once a day. And if now we're talking about traffic, okay, well, you really want real time? It's streaming data. You now need to have broadband connectivity to each one of the intersections that's going to get me this data as fast as possible. So there's such a big conversation to be had around what problem are we trying to solve? What are the requirements to actually deliver the outcomes that you're truly looking for?
Bill, any comments on, so again, we just, good points, all coming from, again, interoperability, right? The ability to connect one thing to the other. I feel like a lot of folks do get their foot in the door by actually talking about interoperability, because if I come into, let's just stick to water here. Yep. If I go in and I say, hey, my widget talks to Modbus and DNP3, and that's what you have, you're in the door, because there's less hesitation in that. Okay, I know DNP3, it's going to work. Let's chat. Isn't the opposite true? That if you come with whiz bang, cutting edge, 20G, edge compute, AI, generative, whatever, you're just dead out of the gate?
Oh, yes. Because what you're talking about is you're talking about the tech. You're not talking about the problem that's being solved. You're saying, oh, I can talk this and I can talk that and I can talk this and I can talk that. Again, I'm going to come back. We don't have to look. Rob says it all the time. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't. You don't have to use every alphabet in any language to say, okay, well, because you don't have MQTT. Well, you have MQTT, but you don't have MQTT-SN. And then, by the way, CoAP is in existence over here. And then you don't have to do that, to get them to go, wow, he really knows what he's talking about. I didn't understand a damn thing he said. So, I think you have to come in, and it's more than just the talk. You're right. You can say, I understand what it is that you're trying to get to. So you take that SCADA piece of the problem and you go, okay, all of your water, your lift stations, your pumps, all of your pressure sensors and everything like that. We've got that contained, and we can get that back. Now you go through user stories and use cases that actually say, now I want to do something. You've shown me how to collect the data. You show me how to get into a central repository. Now I want to act on it, which now means that something needs to communicate. So what ERP system do you have? Do we want to close the loop and say, I found the problem, send it over here. I want to initiate a work order, and that work order needs to send somebody out to that lift station or that substation or what have you and execute, close on it, send it back. Now we know this is what happened in the series of events that took place. So, yeah, you can get your foot in the door, but are you going to close the door on your foot because you don't have the full story?
Don't close the door on your foot. That's the big takeaway today.
If the door is heavy and it hits you right in the ankle, you're going to be limping.
You are.
And, we'll just stick with this interoperability talk instead of something really sexy, since we're going to get chopped off here in about 5 minutes anyway. You know what, Bill, when you said that, it made me flash back to the old story at Lumada. How do I make a 1.0 product look like a 3.0 product? And It's like, here's the platform thing, and we're getting all that data together. But how do I talk to SAP or everything? Oh, let's get Pentaho with its 100 ETL connectors, and let's glue it with APIs to Lumada so that we can have an action and go create a work order in SAP or ServiceNow or whatever. Obviously that's the back end part. Obviously there's the front end part. Can I talk Modbus or whatever? But then there's the other part, because God forbid we all create brand new data silos everywhere, which is what most people did, actually.
And they're still doing that. They are still doing that. This is, look at the conversation just around electrification.
Okay.
Right? Interconnect is a problem. You're talking about, we're gonna electrify these fleets. I was just talking about this yesterday. We're gonna electrify these fleets. How many charging stations do you have?
2.
Are you waiting in line to charge now? Yes.
There's a plethora of chargers that are out there now.
Are they
What kind of a plug do you have for your EV? What protocol is your car talking to that plug that's going to the charger?
Bill, I have this on an Excel spreadsheet on Office and Office 365, and that's how we're going to do it, okay? I got my fleet, I got the chargers, what fits where, and using a script that ChatGPT wrote for me, I am going to just dispatch via SMS and the 3G network. That's how we're going to do it.
It took many years for the evil oil and gas industry to standardize on what refined petroleum products are going to be, where they work in every car and they're sold at every gas station on the planet, and it's going to work. And if you do it any other way, where we have Bob's gasoline that works this way for these kind of cars, and we have Fred's gasoline that's this different type, then all of a sudden we have fragmentation. We saw this in the early days of telecom in mobile networks. Remember, if you live in the Atlanta area, this mobile operator will work for you, but you won't be able to work if you're in Houston, And so we are clearly seeing that today. We've got superchargers. We got different kinds of, I don't want to call it the Wild West. It's not that wild, but it's not super standardized either. There's people, we should be having a single way to charge every car.
So before I jumped on this call, I was just on a call with the Open Charge Alliance, where they are trying to standardize OCPP, right? Open Charge Protocol.
OCPP?
You know me.
Yeah, you know me. So, they're literally going through that right now, and we're down at the point of understanding how do you execute the charge? Meaning you walk up, like charge points, you walk up, you tap your phone, and it knows that it's you. But what information are you giving away when you do that? Because when you plug so I plug my car in, it says it's a Tesla, it's an S series, ID number, who owns it. It gives away my information.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't like that.
Right.
I don't like, but if you want to charge someplace that's not Tesla, you got to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they need to fix that. So I'm literally part of that, where I'm like, nope, that's not cool.
So you've created the Anonymous Charging Alliance.
That's what I'm going to do.
This is the right system.
Because literally, when you do that.
Yes. Look at that. What does that mean?
F around and find out.
Yes.
F around.
Yes.
F around.
F around.
I'm telling you, it's the best
F
chart on the
around.
internet. If you
Yeah.
F around this much, you're going to find out.
That's right.
All right. Well, you know what? This is going to be a really short deal since we're down to 15 seconds. Thanks for everybody coming today to IoT Coffee Talk. We had a great, to the point, succinct discussion on interoperability, which is important, right? Whether it's at the device side, it's telecom side, and it's effing around side and talking
That's
about
right.
back-end systems.
Whatever you do, don't F around and find out.
Exactly. Don't F around and find out. Thanks so much for coming. Check us out at iotcoffeetalk.com or anywhere you get podcasts. And we are out.
Peace.
Peace.